Hello everybody and welcome to this episode of Let's Build. Today we'll be continuing the spooky mansion that we started last time, and we'll be doing a lot of little structural things like adding some staircases and all of that good stuff. And I'll be focusing mainly on the lower floors. I went through a lot of stuff. Yeah, and I had to delete a lot of these walls that were kind of extra. And each floor as you go up gets a little bit smaller, or at least two of the floors are the same size, but generally get smaller. And yeah, so all of this has a very Gothic-y sort of feel. Victorian. It's all Victorian inspired. I don't know how Victorian this end design ends up being. But, you know, there you go. Yeah, I didn't like the way those stairs were facing after a while. 'Cause when you see a grand staircase, you want it to face you. You want it to beckon you to go upwards. At least that's what I wanted. I just think these wrought iron steel railings are so gorgeous, and I love this vampire pack because it's so spooky, and it's got all these old-timey little features. That with Get Together, some of my favorite game packs. So let's see, what was I doing? Yes, so we have the grand staircase and the room to, well, it's your left right now, eventually became the dining room, and the room to the right became this kind of activity and family room. And the room you saw out front, that's more of a parlor, I think, a drawing room. I'm not sure what they're called. It's a room where you have sun and you just sit around the piano and laugh and read books and stuff. I don't know what it's called. A lot of the problems that I run into when making houses and stuff like that is figuring out what's the best way to utilize all this space in here. How do you use it in a way where things make sense and don't end up feeling too crowded? How's it best to do that? I hate that sometimes they leave this, the stairs have these walls, but they leave this little gap behind them. I don't know. I really wish that they would add spiral stairs. They finally added spiral stairs to the Sims 3, right towards the end. I really miss them. Maybe I'm just totally oblivious. Maybe they're right in front of me and I'm not seeing them. I mean, that's always possible with me. I only just discovered the trims for your house. I really like this little side table here. I think it really goes well with the rest of the house. One thing that's been kind of difficult is remembering that I don't have to sort of filter out everything that's not either in the base game or in the city living pack, because yeah, I'm not doing that because I was doing this collaboration with another simmer, I guess, whose name is Princess Hazmat, and yeah, she only has the city living expansion, so you know, and collaborating on that, you can't just use everything because the other person might not have it. So it was great to be able to do some of this on my own. So this is a solo thing. I really love these rugs, and they're so pretty. Just picking out the right colors and trying to make sure things go together really well. Like, what sort of pictures fit in this little area? And plus, I wanted to make sure that I left enough space on the walls to allow for a painter to add some more things. So I tried to limit myself in that regard and not go too painting crazy. Because eventually I want to have a painter living in this house and doing some portraits. That's my absolute favorite thing to paint to have your sim paint is portraits. I love that. It also kind of corresponds to my favorite type of pictures. Some people really like landscapes. I like pictures of people. I like seeing what people wore and what they looked like. I don't know. I know you're probably thinking, oh my god, not that old-timey fridge and that old-timey stove again. What can I say? I really like them. Especially in old-fashioned houses like this. It's like, maybe I'll do this counter island, but then I decided against it. I'm just gonna have a classic little kitchen that's extremely cramped and stuff like that. So why not? At least I didn't have as much trouble this time decorating things as I did last time. Sorry if you heard that froggy noise in the background. It's one of those internet notifications going off. I'm sorry. Yes, and the dining room is red because apparently red's supposed to stimulate your appetite. I don't know. There I go, mispronouncing words again. What is speaking? I don't know how to speak. And there's this nice little table and chairs. Of course, the fancy chairs are for the head of the households. They face each other, and everybody else sits in the little chairs. 'Cause that's how it goes here in America. I don't know. You sit at the head of the table, you sit at the other head of the table. You have a question, go ask your father. I don't know. Get out of here, you bother me. You little thingy-ma-dinger. I've been wanting to play with the new toddlers expansion. Expansion kind of, because everybody did get toddlers. But there's some new interactions with that. And yeah, I have the parenting expansion now, so I really want to be able to experiment with that and see where that leads me. And I've been thinking about doing a new series of The Sims, and I think that would be lots of fun. The only reason why I haven't jumped ahead and gotten into that is because I wanted to finish up this building first. And plus, with the other builds I have going on, it's been kind of, well, I won't say hectic, but I'm a very one thing at a time type of person, which probably isn't very good for variety, but that's how I roll. I don't like doing something and then, like, when you're really getting into it, stopping and picking up another thing. Because then I get distracted and I don't want to go back to the other thing, and it makes things totally hard. So I don't like doing that. What goes in a kitchen? What goes in a kitchen? What goes in a kitchen? I don't know what goes in a kitchen. Yeah, here's some cake. I don't know, looks kind of good. What am I doing? Should I put some wine over here? Oh, don't adding some urns next to the fireplace. Oh gosh, I don't know if I cut this out. But when I moved the rest of this family into this house, I was making some adjustments, and then right as I got back into live mode from Create a Sims, the house caught on fire, and I was like, no, not my brand new rug. My brand new rug and dining chairs and all of that, so I had to go back. That was a nightmare. Okay, it could be worse, but still pretty funny though. Just no. That'll teach me for lighting a fireplace. I don't even know how the fires are so... I don't know how the fires get out of control, because why does that happen so often in The Sims? That should be a really rare occurrence, because fires are pretty rare, I like to think. Mostly because people have a pretty good understanding that fire is dangerous. And if you lose your house, you don't have a house. And I don't know what's so hard about that to understand for Sims. Anyway, the fireplace in this room ends up getting replaced by an organ. You know what I could do is add fireplaces to every single room, but that would be such a headache. Replacing things every single time. Somebody wasn't careful. Gosh, I've got to sneeze. I think I'll be okay. I think I've avoided the sneeze. There we go. I've never done the organ player thingy before. I think this is... well, it definitely is brand new to this game, but it's brand new to the series as well. Organ playing. Thankfully, we've got violin playing too. That came with the basic game, and so it was really cool having a violin. And I'm kind of glad that they didn't have percussion this time, because yeah, even though drumming is a skill, it's not as interesting to listen to as something like a guitar is, or a piano, or a violin. So those are better instruments. Way better instruments. I mean, they all have a place, but drums are kind of like salt. Like, if you just have salt, you've got a pretty boring meal, you know? A lot of these rooms got a lot smaller. This room right here is supposed to be the bathroom, and it got cut down to half its size because I didn't really want this big old wall poking out from the other walls, and it wasn't like I was gonna put a whole lot else in it anyway, so it ended up pretty tiny. Lots of bathrooms are kind of tiny. There's a medicine cabinet in here, and a mirror. I don't know if I kept the hamper. I put a hamper in there. I don't know if I went with it, or... yeah, there it is. If it was just temporary. Oh, yeah. replaced it with a trash can. Everything needs a trash can. Otherwise, where are you gonna put your trash? Ever thought about that? Didn't think so. Can't put your trash away if you don't have a trash can. I like this room. I like all the colors in here. I don't think I don't think I'd want them in a real house because they're way too dark, but for some spooky people in spooky land, it is okay. It is absolutely fine. Gosh, what? I'm like running out of things to talk about. I usually end up putting way too many computers in the houses I make because I don't know. I don't know what I would do without mine. It's like I'm addicted, not addicted to it, but it's like it's taken over my mind. I can't live without it. I need your computer. Without you, I am nothing. Yeah, there's a don't wake the llama table. I don't think I went with the foosball table. I think I ended up getting rid of that and that because it just, Chess is cool, but you don't want something super duper loud if you have a computer. Just, I mean, you might get a little boisterous with the Jenga table, but it's not going to be too bad. Plus I put something for the kids, because you want to have a little thing for them to do. So like if you're working on something and then the little toddler's like, what do I do? And you don't want to, you know, be without them, there's your little teddy bear. Go play with your teddy. And this room out here became a sunroom. A greenhouse. I don't know how effective it would be. But I liked it, and it's very much the same as the other, as the outside, the patterns on the inside. I wanted to keep it that way, just for consistency's sake. I don't know. I kind of think that rooms like that would be semi-outdoors, like not totally heated, just, but not completely outside either. So, greenhouse of sorts. All things considered, I think this house is really beautiful. I'm sorry if I'm tooting my own horn, but I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Oh, and you might notice me putting a bunch of plants around the outside. This is because I had one of my Sims aspirations being a mansion baron. So one of the ways to do that is to have a bunch, and I mean a bunch, of plants and landscaping outside. So I was trying to think of ways to increase that to 5,000 simoleons worth. And I ended up just putting down a bunch of brambles. And you'll see that in a little while, plus these little fountains. So it's kind of boring and not nearly as exciting as I had hoped with regards to landscaping, but there's only so much space here, and what can you do? I mean, maybe if I had left more space for a garden, this wouldn't have been such an issue. I don't know. The lots in this game aren't nearly as big as they were in The Sims 3. That's one of the little things I miss. I think the largest lot you can build on without cannibalizing one of the parks or one of the other lots is 40 by 50 or 50 by 40. So instead of the absolutely huge ones you could have in The Sims 3, which were 64 by 64. really miss those. That I could really do something with that, I'm telling you. But none are that big in this little world here. Not unless I want to tear down one of the other lots, and I don't really want to do that. I mean, yeah, no, wouldn't want to do that. So they're actually pretty, and they're done by people who know what they're doing, instead of me. I'm just a person on the internet. Total ignoramus. Just put down a bunch of these brambles, and I put brambles on top of brambles on top of brambles. Bramble, bramble, bramble. I'm surprised I got up to 5,000, and that was mainly accomplished through brambles after brambles and adding more ivy. I know, this is like ivy central. Like, more ivy. You serious? I am serious. More ivy. Apparently this is all supposed to make it look better, though. I don't know if it does or not. Because before it was kind of a controlled chaos, and now it's kind of just a regular chaos, and before it was kind of like maybe somebody cared a little bit, but couldn't reach the tops or something, and now it's kind of, yeah, nobody cares. This place has been, we're getting towards the end. I'm sorry. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please don't forget to leave a like or comment down below. I really, really appreciate it. And I will see all of you guys next time. Bye. There we go.